Hello, I am Dennis and knitting is one of my hobbies, and this is a flat bear which I have written a pattern for. I knit these for little children in the cancer department. Turn that one over. Now, in order to knit this, the pattern is up on my box, so you can download the pattern. What you will need is 3mm knitting pins, or knitting needles as they call them, a row counter, definitely need a row counter, and about 40 grams of yarn. Now to start with, you cast on 8 stitches, knit twice into the same stitch, and then knit 2 rows. The next row you purl, which gives you the part for bending up for the feet. From there on, you count the next row as row 1 and knit 20 rows, which takes you up to the end of leg 1. Exactly the same for leg 2, and if you start off with that as row 1, when you get to row 20 you will be on to the needle where the row counter is. The next part is to join the two together. Now you've got 16 stitches on here. You knit 15, slip that stitch onto the next needle, knit 2 together, pick up the yarn between and carry on knitting, which gives you 32 stitches across. Knit 8 rows. Then when you've knitted your 8 rows, you cast on 10 in the next 2 rows for the arms. Knit 12 rows, then cast off on the next 2 rows. Then you knit a complete row. The next row is the one which brings the arms up into the huggy position. You knit 1, knit 2 together and knit 2. Knit 2 together, knit 2. You do that 8 times across and you're left with 1 stitch, you knit that stitch. You then knit a row. From there on you follow the pattern by knitting. You increase 1 stitch on every 3rd row. Now I've given a guide on there which you can mark off with your pencil, and when you get up to this point you increase 1 stitch on every row. Once you've got to the top here, you cast off, and I always leave long ends like so, so that I can sew up. I don't have to bring other pieces in. Now on the part where I cast on, the first cast on, I put a little coloured yarn so that I know which is the row which I cast on. Knit in the nose, not a problem. Cast on 4 stitches, increase into the same stitch twice, you get 8. You then knit 2 together on alternate rows and then bind off. Now I sew the nose and the eyes on before I sew them up. Another little thing which I do, I always slip the first stitch on the rows, unless of course I'm increasing on the row, but by slipping the first stitch you get a tight edge on these, so you sew them face to face, you sew them on the outside, you don't have to turn it on the inside out. So put the 2 together, 2 together, and they make up our flat bear. Now I will put the pattern up onto my box net, and you can download the pattern for free and just have fun knitting it. Well, here's the completed project. We'll just lift him up, turn him around. There he is, my little flat bear.